Edgar Allan Poe is one of the most influential American writers of the 19th century. His work has shaped modern horror, detective fiction, psychology, suspense, and even science fiction. People around the world continue to read his stories and poems because they explore universal themes such as fear, guilt, death, madness, memory and dreams, and the darker side of human nature. Poe's writing style is unique, intense, atmospheric, emotion, and carefully created to create suspense. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about Poe's life, his struggles, his major work, the themes he explored, and why his influence remains strong today. Edgar Allan Poe was born in January 19, 1809 in Boston. His parents were traveling actors, but both died when he was very young. After becoming an orphan at only 2 years old, Poe was taken in by a healthy family from Richmond, Virginia, the Allens. John Allan, his foster father, provides him with a good education, but the relationship was full of conflicts. Poe wanted to be a writer. Allan wanted him to work in business. This tension shaped Poe's early adult years. He studied briefly at the University of Virginia, but left because of debts. Later, he joined the army and then attempted West Point, but he was expelled. After that, he decided to decline himself fully to literature. Poe started writing poems and stories while trying to survive financially. He worked as an editor for several magazines when he published sharp literary criticisms. He became known for his bold opinion after attracting writers he believed were overrated. His first collection, Timeline and Other Poems, 1827, he did not attract much attention. However, he persisted in 1813. He won a prize for his history, Mr. Found in the Bottle, which helped him again recognize Poe's talent for blending imagination, emotion, and mystery quickly, set him apart for other writers of his time. Poe's life was marked by emotional instability and financial difficulty. He married his cousin Virginia when she was only 13, and he deeply loved her. However, she suffered from tuberculosis and died very young. Her illness and death has profound impact on Poe's writing, intensifying the shortfall of melancholic tone in many of his work. Throughout his life, Poe struggled with poverty, depression, and alcohol. He removed frequently and lost jobs after because of conflicts with employee or poor health. Despite this challenge, he continued writing some of the most innovative work of American literature. Poe's writings explore several recurring themes that helps us understand his popularity. Many of Poe's characters suffer for the loss of the loved one, reflecting his own experience. Stories like The Tale of the Tale House of Sir Ushers and poems like Annabel Lee express the meaning of the beauty of the love touched by death. Poe's after created narrator who shows signs of psychological instability, The Telltale Heart and The Black Cat. The narrator insists they are insane, but the actors reveal the opposite. This unique created tensions and invitation reading to question to the nature of truth. Several stories revolve around characters who commit terrible acts and are they overwhelmed by guilt. These themes makes readers reflect on the conscience and morality. Poe loved exploring strange, mystery, and supernatural elements, using their own creative fear, suspense, and curiosity. Poe believed that his most beautiful emotion in literature was sadness. His poetry expressed longing, memory, and idealized love. Poe practically created the detective genre with the murder in the Rome morgue His detective, C. Auguste Dupin, used logic, observation, and reaction ideas that later inspired Sherlock Holmes. Poe's perfect the Gothic style with dark sentiment, psychological tension, and symbolized imagery. Some of his lesser-known work explored science, idea, and futurist concepts, influencing about like Jules Verne. Poe was also an important critic, argument that literature should focus on unity, emotion, and aesthetic effect. Arguably his most famous poem, The Raven, tells the story of a grieving man visited by a mystery raven, its rhythm, sound, and symbolism making it uncomfortable. A classic short story about guilt and madness, the narrator murders an old man, hides the body, and becomes obsessed with the sound of vibrating hair. A rich Gothic narrative full of experiment, delight with deceit, fear, and psychological tense. Annabel Lee, a beautiful poem about eternal love and lost, inspired by Poe's later wife Virginia. The Black Cat, another late of guilty, violence, and collapse of sanity. The Mask of the Red Dead, a symbolist story about a deadly plague and the impossibility of escaping death. The Murder is in the Rue Morgue, a groundbreaking detective story was influenced by entire genre. Poe's final days. Poe died in 1849 under mysterious circumstances after being found delirious on the street of Baltimore. The exact cause of his death remains unknowledge, with theories ranging from illness to alcoholism, poison to political kidnapping. His death and the legend surrounds his life. Poe's influence on world literature is enormous, writing like Arthur Conan, Stephen King, and acknowledges his impact. His stories are adapted into movies, series, songs, and even video games. Poe remains relevant because he understands the depth of human emotion. He wrote not just to scare readers, but to explore that makes us feel vulnerable, afraid, and alive. His work is emotionally powerful, technically innovation, and culturally enduring. Edgar Allan Poe transformed American literature when his imagination and emotion intensified. He explored fear, guilt, madness, and beauty, creating unforgettable stories and poems. Even today, his work continues to fascinate readers around the world. Learning about poems, meaning, and understanding how literature reveals the human souls in both of his darkness and his beauty. Beyond his major work, Edgar Allan Poe's life influence continues to captivating readers and audiences even today. One remarkable fact about him is that from a very young age, he possessed a deeply imagination and sensibility of mind. He often believed that dreams could inspire creativity, and he used this source of inspiration in many of his stories and poems. In addition, Poe was known for being a very bold and sometimes harsh literary critic. He did not hesitate to voice his opinion, even if it meant another offending other writers. While this made him a controversial figure during his time, he is also showing his dedication to literature and his belief in high artistic standards. Poe's influence extends far beyond the realm of books. His stories and poems have inspired countless adaptations in popular culture. Films like the 2012 adaptation, The Raven, reinterpreted his work for modern audience. Television shows including The Simpsons and American Horror Story, after reference his themes of mystery, fear, and psychology complex. His poems, poetry, and history have even influenced music, such as the long songs by the Alan Parsons Project, which drew inspiration for The Raven. Additionally, video games, graphic novels, and 3D production continued to explore his darkened atmosphere's storytelling. This widespread culture represents proof that Poe's ideas, creative and unique style remain revealing and influential. One of the most remarkable aspects of Poe's work is his mastery of literary technique. He was a pioneer in creating suspense and psychology tense, often employing unreliable narrative to make reading question which is real and what is imagination. He attended to detail, rhythm, and sound, particularly in his poems, create a strong emotional impact. The Raven, for example, was repeated and musically to immerse reading in the narrative gift and obsession. In his stories, Poe often employ vivid sensory description, allowing reading to see, hear, and feel the world of his character. Those techniques make his work both thrilling and emotionally visible. Poe's dreams are another reason why his work endures. He explored emotion and situations that are deeply human. Grief, loss, fear, guiltness, obsession, and love. In stories like The Telltale Heart and The Black Cat, we are character overwhelmed by their own condition, and readers are invited to reflect on morality, guilt, and human psychology. In poems such as Annabel Lee, he Poe captured the beauty and the source of loving, showing how memory and longing can endure even after death. Those universal themes allow reading for any time of culture to connect with his own work on a deeply emotional level. Moreover, Poe's legacy is not only about the stories that he wrote by, but also about the influence that he had on the future generation of writing and artists. Arthur Conan Doyle, H.P. Lovecraft, Ray Bradbury, and Stephen King, among many others, have acknowledged his impact on their work. Poe's innovation in genres such as the detective stories, the Gothic tale, and even early science fiction paved the way to modern literature. By exploring the darkness aspects of the human mind, he challenged transition, storytelling, and expanded the possibility of fiction. Finally, studying Poe's allows us to understand that literature is a matter of human experience. His works demonstrate that darkness and beauty can coexist and that fear, sorrow, and obsession are not just terrifying, they are deeply human. Poe's writing invitation reading to explore the complexity of emotion, the fragility of life, and the power of imagination. His legacy is a testament of the enduring struggle of storytelling, and they always literally can reflect, challenge, and inspire us. In conclusion, Edgar Allan Poe is more than a writer of horror of mystery. He is a profound obsession of human nature, a master of emotion, and a pioneer of literary technique. This exploration of fear, gift, madness, and beauty has left an indelible mark on literature, and culture. By rereading and studying his works, we are not only enjoying trifling stories, but also gain insight into the human soul. Poe's influence continues to resonate, resounding us the imagination, emotion, and the explorer's life complexity are the heart of all great literature.